Okay, if you don't mind, let's stay on the stage, right? Okay, let's talk about building trust with external partner and considering something about the digital agenda that we have today, right? Our agenda is something like this. I'll share with you some roadblocks that we face in Brazil. For example, I took the logistics part, since we have some logistics operators here, just to mention what are the challenges in Brazil. Get alignment on digital initiatives with our CMOs, what's necessary to do that, and establishing relationship. What are the key concepts that we have in establishing relationships with our CMOs, right? My target today here, my objective, is to help you saving your time through our experience, sharing our experience and making it valuable for you too, right? So this is part of my background. I used to be a mechanical engineer. I don't know what I am today, right? It's been so long time ago that someone asked me, I don't know. But also a quality engineer from American Society for Quality Control, which helps in bringing some quality perspective into the supply chain. It's always good to have, right? Also logistics marketing, my MBA transport, and some APICS certifications help me in driving my work, right? I've worked with this in these areas, right? Cold chain warehousing, planning, demand management, manufacturing, and a few others. And today, I'm also working with education and consulting. I teach supply chain in some universities in Brazil for around 10 years, and it really helps us in getting to know something that's new in the market, right? I've worked for this company, some former colleagues are over here. I work in Takeda, Pfizer, Nycomed, British American Tobacco, and along the way, right? Sorry. And today, as I mentioned, I work for Bayer, right? And many companies just mention something about their companies. I will not mention too many things about Bayer, but on the consumer health division, we have these products over here, right? Probably you've heard about them. Okay, so they are good ones, and for example, I have here Barberini. Barberini, excellent product for your hair, right? Pure vitamin A. But besides this, there's just one number that's important for us, which is 1.6 billion, and what it means. No, not very. What does it mean? 1.6 billion customers, daily customers. Every day, 1.6 billion people uses our products in the whole world, right? Do you know this one? So it's free. Great. Yeah, this is yours, right? So great product. And what is it about? It's about 1.6 billion and one, right? So the company is driven in looking, targeting for our customers, trying to focus new customers and bring experience. So I'm so sorry, you try to love it, but you can't get it because it comes from Brazil. Right? Yeah, but it's a great opportunity to bring the customers to us. Okay? Just to mention something of the problems that we face in Brazil, and this is very interesting. I mentioned this presentation here at LogiPharma about a couple of years ago, and they asked me to mention this again. Brazil is not a country for amateurs. Does any one of you works with Brazil? Yeah? Easy, piece of cake? No, very hard. Brazil is a very hard country to work with. Right? Our health regulatory agency, called Anvisa, it's a very hard one. Brazil is very difficult. I used to mention that we have 86 variables that we have to control in Brazil, but today I'll just talk about one of them, which is logistics. But Brazil comes from a very complex story, like this. We started years ago, Brazil taking off. Yes, everybody was trusting Brazil would do great. But then something happened. Whoa, what happened in Brazil? Well, it was the first one of many failures that we had along the years. We were needing some changes. We are calling it a quagmire. Wow, hard times in Brazil with our president, Dilma. And time to go, Dilma, right? And the betrayal of Brazil is about corruption. So these are a few of the problems that we have. And we are very good in changing presidents in Brazil. We impeached 2 of them in a couple of years, right? So we are number 1 in changing presidents. Today we're having a new one. Our new president is Bolsonaro, right? He's from the right side, from the right wing. I don't want to discuss politics, but bringing some different points to the discussions. Okay, so we do expect some changes in the way that Brazil is doing business with other countries, even inside our own economy. Talking about infrastructure, one of those variables that I mentioned. Most of the times we use these nice roads in Brazil for distribution, logistics, cold chain, you name it, right? But some other times, in the countryside, we must work on these bridges. Okay, and that's myself over there checking if it could be okay for a truck. It was okay, yeah. But can you imagine your distribution process going through these bridges? Okay. To get to these other highways. So you go through that bridges to try to reach these other highways, and your customer is waiting for your product. Okay? And they call you, hey, what about my product? Oh, it's inside the truck, it's in the truck, it's on the way to go. Okay? It's facing some problems, I heard something about that, but it's on the way. This is the north of Brazil during the rain season. Okay? So of course, this is not the full country, but it happens. It happens. And we must manage that. We must manage packaging, our 3PLs, distribution, and visa, you name it. Okay? So you go through that road to find some surprises, like the road to nowhere. This one, it ends up on a river. What can I do from here on? How can I go through this? You can see something like this. Can you imagine? This is in the south of Brazil. You are a truck driver, you are driving your truck, see those gorgeous animals on the road, say, wow, they are very nice. And then a few meters away, you get a flat tire. Would you go out to change the tires? So this is one question on logistics. And sometimes you can see something like this, right? Yeah, it's a snake. I would say it's a 30 feet long one, right? Crossing the road, and you can't kill an animal like that. If you go through this animal, you go to jail, right? Unless my wife would go back and forth to guarantee there's no problem with this. But
looks like he ate the tigers.
maybe, it may be. But you know, I got a very interesting footage on another highway in the south of Brazil with this very same problem. The snake was on the road, and the trucks are all stopped and waiting for the gorgeous animal to pass through. So, some of the problems that we have. And we even have other problems, like this. Is it a side wing? No. Drink and drive? No. Wow. Sex and drive? Maybe. But look, this one goes in front of the other and start doing like this. And the truck driver in the back is filming. Something's going on here. Yeah. An idea? No. Okay, 75 miles per hour, which is huge in a truck like this. It's not so easy. This one, I was driving this one. No, I'm joking, I was not driving, right? But this is not easy. This is a contest, a competition between truck drivers. Can you believe that? So, two truck drivers, they are competing to check who's the best driver between or among them two. That's why one goes in front of the other and the other keeps filming. And then they share those videos, right? what is this about? What is this about? It's not usual, but it happens. But the point here is, you did a very good job in selecting your supplier company. You do your quality agreement, you do your homework, you do your audits, you do everything, but you must rely on people, the drivers, the people who's driving the trucks. These must be very well aligned with you, and they must know you can do that, right? So this is an important part to mention. Data interchange on external manufacturing, and of course the environment and the technology. What's data transfer? What's technology? What's information that we have today? All we have today is related to a VUCA word. Probably you've heard this word before, right? But it means volatility, uncertainties, complexity, and ambiguity. This is what we live today. This is our world. What we're talking today, right now, tomorrow will not be the whole truth if something changes. And something can change in 20 minutes, you know? So this is the kind of world that we live. Can you imagine, we lived with that symbol of Coppertone for many years on the left. Some of you may remember that, but they had to change that image, right? So it's a very complex world. And for us, that we work with other companies, it's even more complex. We work with production. Sometimes I might think, okay, I need no more problems. I'd like to have a very easy life. I wish my production schedule would work fine. Okay? So it's very difficult. What can I do? I'll try to outsource some of my activities. Bayer is doing that. We are looking for the outsourcing way in some activities, right? For example, they're contemplating outsourcing R&D. This is a very, very important point that we are not used to have. Traditional pharmaceutical, orthodox pharmaceutical like Bayer, outsource R&D. We know that R&D is the core business for a pharmaceutical company, right? So when one say that we are outsourcing that, something is happening within the company, right? We must do things in a different way. So outsource is something very complex, but we are going through this way, right? This is the Bayer's strategy in product supply. This is our figure. Probably it's the version number 54 or the 68, I don't remember, because the C-suite keeps moving and changing everything, even the colors. But this is our strategy, right? And what we have, we focus on people and culture, customer and consumer value, customer and consumer trust, and competitiveness. These are our pillars in terms of supplying products. And we are based on that license to operate. I mean, safety, quality, compliance, health, and environment. So these 5 ones, they are unnegotiable, right? The other ones we can discuss. But this is our strategy. And very interestingly, in between those pillars, we have digitalized operations and network optimization. So the plan is to reach our strategy through digitalized operations. So this is us. It's part of our strategy. Okay. Who will do that? As I've mentioned before, this is our core business. External manufacturing in the middle, coordinating those other areas. Quality, procurement, supplier, technical services, and supply chain. Right? So we work together and keep this thing moving. The idea is to keep them interacting and make things happening within this external manufacturing. Right? Okay? The basic concept here is we want to manage business in relationship with transparency, honesty, and sincere collaboration. Right? So this is what we must have when dealing with our suppliers, with our CMOs. It's not so easy to do. Sometimes it's very hard. Remember, German Orthodox company trying to be more open, more flexible. You know, it's quite complex. This helps to get full engagement from our CMOs. when I get such engagement from CMOs, I will avoid situations like those truck drivers drive on highway, right? So only with engagement, full engagement, that we can guarantee that we will work fine, right? How it works on our digitization process, how it works on the new digital agenda that we have today. What are the concepts that we are bringing to discussions with our CMOs? Well, we are living in a chaos due to this current situation on what technologies bring. But we have an amazing ability to put order through the chaos. We can easily know what we have to do, right? Sometimes maybe look kind of messy in the beginning, but it can set very we can do it. To talk about digitization, I will not go into too many details right now, but there are some concepts here. Digitization, the process of making information available and accessible in a digital format. Right? This is the very first step, and I think that's the most important one. Digitalization is to use that first data in our processes. And digital transformation is the concept and the set of activities related to all of this, right? So digitization adds for us some efficiencies like this, reducing time processing, no more hunting for data, easy tracking, and some other ones, right? But is it a recent concept? Is it? Yeah. Yeah. Soviet Union, first atomic bomb. NATO, Germany, Taiwan, color TV. When this happened? Do you know? Germany Federal Republic founded. It gives a clue. Almost there. So it happened in the same year that we got this machine here. And what is this? Is the IBM 026, 1949. So the digitization process has started over here. You know how many years ago? Many years ago. Many, right? It's not so new. We should be used to that, but we aren't, right? But it's important for us. And everything related to that goes into some improvements. For example, in the last 50 years, one processor has improved like this. Performance has improved 3,500 times. Consumption has decreased 90,000 times. And cost has decreased 60,000 times. Right? What is this? Let's put in another. Let's compare with an automobile. If I had the same level of development in a car, it would be doing a performance of 250,000 miles per hour. Okay? Its consumption will be 1.9 million miles per gallon. Great. But it will make no difference because it would cost 35 cents. So if we had the same level of technology development on an automotive industry, right? So this is why it's difficult for us to follow this and to our CMOs as well. One thing that we must take care of is the ego. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay? It's not that it's not because it's in the computer that it's right. So we must rely on people to get data into the systems. And if I can't rely on people, like I can't rely on those truck drivers, it will not work, right? So this is the point. This is the basics of everything related to this digitalization. Okay? We must rely on a reliable supplier. I must have a good supplier. And in order to do that, we work with some key factors. Okay? First, number one, the bacon and eggs discussion. Have you seen the picture that I've posted on our app? Probably. What is this about? Any idea? We'll talk about that recently, right? So, in the morning when you ask for your breakfast, you ask for bacon and eggs, okay? Chicken is involved, but the pork is committed. So this is the point. You must have committed suppliers. You must have committed partners with you. You don't have, to be engaged or involved, it's not basic, but must be committed. The second one is conflict and confront. And there we try to promote some conflicts. And conflict in a good way, in terms of debating, discussing, exposing new ideas, talking about some problems, right? Conflict is something good. Maybe not with your wife, but it's good to have. And you must avoid confrontation. So you go through conflict to avoid the confrontation. Okay? So this is the second key relationship factor that you have. And the third one is paddleball game. What it's about? It's about, we play a lot of this in Brazil, in the beaches, and we keep playing paddleball. The idea here is to give a good ball to your partner so they can give you back a very good ball. And you keep playing. It's different of playing tennis. What's the objective of playing tennis?
Serve a bad ball.
Yeah, you should serve a bad ball so they can hit the ball, right? Here's quite the difference. And that's the question that I've posed. How many of you do play paddleball with your suppliers? Do you give them good balls, or do you just send them something and wait for a good ball back? This is the point, right? And of course, there's another additional factor here, which is communication.
Sir, left leg, sir. Left leg.
Right.
Right leg. Left leg. Right leg. Okay. Yes. Right leg.
Just one question, very simple. Left leg or right leg? Okay? And such a messy situation over here. How many times it works with us? So please be aware about communication, how to keep your communication going in your suppliers. You're not alone in this situation, okay? I'll share with you later on this code. I kindly ask you to access this research and check for what this contract manufacturing means to you. This is part of the answers that I've been collecting from the recent years, right? Flexibility, partnership, outsourcing, but relationship is the word that most reflects what a contract manufacturing is, right? We have some nice ones like voodoo, expertise, mistakes, trouble, right? But relationship is the most important. Okay. So, I guess my time is right. Some takeaways. Digitization will not work if the relationship is lesser than great. If you don't have a very good relationship, it will not work because you must rely on people to get data into your systems. Okay? Garbage in, garbage out. Be present. We've mentioned that before. Your partner must feel you are with them, you're working with them, visiting them, taking them for lunch, taking them for dinner. Don't think it's just their work. It's your work to make it happen. It's your job to make things work. You must play paddleball game with those guys. Right? Ask yourself how to make their life easier. Sometimes we have our CMOs and they say, okay, I want them to help me. No. What can I do to make their life easier? This is one point. And sometimes they will not ask you that. They get ashamed to do that. In my case, we are there, we are huge. They will not ask us something. So it's our role to offer some help, right? And celebrate. Do your best to celebrate. These are Brazilian chocolates that I used to take to my suppliers to celebrate all the achievements we have. Okay? My last slide is this one.